Happy Wednesday, my fellow strangers. This is Mrs. Strange, and on today's episode of Stranger Universe, we will speculate on the role that Camazotz will play in Stranger Things 5. Before we start, please like, comment, and subscribe to see more episodes from Stranger Universe. Turn on your notifications to never miss another episode again. Follow us on our social media platforms to stay updated with Mrs. Strange and the Stranger Universe family every day. And now, let us begin. Right off the bat, this detailed breakdown comes from the user Unspoiled by Mankind on the subreddit Hawkins AV Club. The link will be in the description down below in case you want to read it yourselves, but this video will delve into the details of the post. This is the first part of an epic 3-part mega theory for Stranger Things 5, exploring how the final season will play out, the symbolism behind it, and the inspirations the Duffer brothers might be pulling from. Everything connects into one big picture by the end, sort of like an iceberg video with different tiers. In this part, we will focus on the roles that Holly Wheeler, Vecna, Will Byers, and the Mind Flayer will play in 2 key episodes, the vanishing of Holly Wheeler and escape from Camazotz. Using both leaks and on-set evidence, we will outline how Holly's disappearance happens and reveal what Camazotz may actually be. Last year, one of Ross Duffer's photo dumps featured artwork of Alice in Wonderland inside Holly Wheeler's bedroom. The showrunners were giving us clues and hints of what's to come in the final chapters of the series all throughout 2024, and this was no different. Mike's younger sister seems to have taken an interest in literature, because it seems like she's also reading A Wrinkle in Time, another book that has been referenced in Season 5 ever since the Duffers were active on Twitter via the Stranger Writers account. Months ago, leaks claimed that Henry Creel would take Holly to Wonderland. This gained credibility when set photos showed Nell Fisher wearing Alice's iconic blue dress from Disney's Alice in Wonderland. The theory is that Holly will think Wonderland is a magical dreamland, but in reality, it's a psychic prison created by Vecna and the Mind Flayer, a false world designed to trap victims' minds. This ties into A Wrinkle in Time. In the book, Camazotz is a planet under the control of the evil Black Thing, which enforces total conformity. The theory is that Wonderland in Stranger Things will actually be Camazotz, a false paradise hiding something much darker. Why the connection? In Alice in Wonderland, the Queen of Hearts' kingdom demands obedience, with non-conforming card soldiers removed. Camazotz operates the same way, strict control masked as harmony. The twist is that in Stranger Things, this Camazotz won't be a planet, but a mental prison similar to Vecna's Mind Layer. I believe Holly will name it Camazotz herself after reading A Wrinkle in Time in her class, a book more relatable for her age group than D&D lore. She'll be taken to the Upside Down in The Vanishing of Holly Wheeler, where she'll be placed in the psychic trap. Her real body may be hidden in the Creel house, which matches leaked set photos showing Holly and Vecna outside the house during the day. Escape from Camazotz will likely be her rescue episode. The Wonderland arc may also borrow from A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master. There's a famous scene where Freddy Krueger greets Alice in a church doorway with red lightning flashing behind him, even saying,
"Welcome to Wonderland, Alice."
We've seen leaked photos of a church in Season 5 where Vecna may be hiding, plus red lightning is already part of the Upside Down. Given Freddy's influence on the character, I think Stranger Things 5 will feature a big fight between Eleven and Vecna in this church as a nod to that nightmare scene. It won't be in Wonderland, but the Wonderland motif could foreshadow it. Another point of contention is that Henry Creel will adopt the moniker Mr. Watsit to approach kids in Season 5. This Mr. Watsit disguise is a sinister twist on Mrs. Watsit from A Wrinkle in Time. While Mrs. Watsit genuinely helps the heroes in the book, Vecna will use this role to deceive Holly, pretending to save her friends while luring her to Camazotz for the Mind Flayer's control. At the same time, Mr. Watsit is also a darker take on the White Rabbit. Just as Alice follows the White Rabbit to Wonderland, Holly will follow Vecna into his trap. Leaked photos even show him in a fedora, brown suit, and pocket watch, the White Rabbit's exact accessories. The show has been planting Wonderland hints for years, ever since Season 1, when the song White Rabbit plays when Eleven escapes from Benny's Burgers, and in Season 4, we can see young Henry killing a rabbit during his grand monologue. Going back to Camazotz and A Wrinkle in Time, there are several references that may hint at the Mind Flayer's role in Season 5. The Black Thing is a cosmic, eldritch evil that spreads darkness and controls minds through its avatar, which is simply named It, just like Pennywise in Stephen King's horror novel. The parallels with the Mind Flayer are clear. Both are ancient, manipulative entities spreading corruption. The first shadow play confirms the Mind Flayer targeted Henry Creel in 1959, much like it targeted Will Byers in Season 2. Henry initially resisted but eventually gave in. Importantly, the Mind Flayer already had its spider shape back then. Vecna didn't create it. This makes the Mind Flayer the real mastermind of the series. And that finally brings us to Will Byers. In Stranger Things 4, Will draws a painting of the party fighting a three-headed red dragon. While fans have linked it to various D&D monsters, I believe it simply represents the Mind Flayer in a different physical form. That's not to say we will literally see the Mind Flayer become a dragon, but simply rather engage in a battle against the party, which is something a lot of us have wanted to see since Season 2. The Reddit user compares the Mind Flayer to the Jabberwocky, a dragon that was cut from Disney's Alice in Wonderland for being too frightening. Concept art shows a tall, shadowy creature looming over trees, eerily similar to the Mind Flayer. The theory is that we will finally see the Mind Flayer take a physical form against the party in Camazotz during their rescue mission to save Holly. This mirrors Pennywise taking the forms of each child's worst nightmare. It also fits the Duffer style of blending pop culture references. It remains to be seen if this is what's going to happen during the escape from Camazotz sequence, creating a high-stakes moment where the party must rescue Holly while escaping the Mind Flayer. And that's just the first part of the mega theory. What do you all think? Let us know in the comments section below. Overall, very strange times. And that is all that we have for today. What theories do you have about Holly, Camazotz, and Wonderland in Stranger Things 5? Today's special shout-out is for Books. To get a chance at becoming our next special Stranger Universe shout-out, type it down in the comments section below. Turn on your notifications to never miss another Stranger Universe episode like this one. Join us on our episode premieres to interact with Mrs. Strange and other members of the Stranger Universe family. Thank you all for watching. I am Mrs. Strange, and this is Stranger Universe. Over and out.